If you live in the UK, we've got an exciting opportunity for you. You can rehome a drug dealer today because the government has decided that what they are going to do is offer you money off of your bills, your rent, and other such things if you house an illegal migrant.
Why would I want...
I think it's 5 years worth of rent that they're offering, as well as
Really?
all of your bills paid. But I still wouldn't want some random foreigner living in the spare room.
Albanian. An Albanian people trafficker living in my house.
Operating a brothel from the spare room. No,
selling drugs. Yeah, no, I don't think I will.
I don't want that either. No. On the website, just to let everybody know, we've got some more freemium content that is available for those who want to check it out. I think is this freemium for 1 week or is this?
I believe it's for a week.
Yes.
Callum and I did this yesterday. It's the the third book in. I think it's actually the first.
It's the first book. Callum just went about this in a completely strange way.
Yeah.
He started second, third, and then first, and all of the co-hosts are different people.
Yeah, the reason that Frank Ducotta is actually such a useful historian when it comes to the subject of the communist takeover of China is because he was working at the University of Hong Kong and had access to all of the Chinese Communist Party's official libraries and official records. And so he just went in and did all of this research, got all of this information, put it all together in these books, and then he had to flee Hong Kong, of course. When the Chinese took it over. I assume he's fled anyway. I haven't checked, actually. But the point is, he's done an amazing amount of work and documentation on what happened when the Chinese communists took over China. And you can watch our other Frank Ducotta videos breaking down what happened, with the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution.
Yeah. I was on the one with the Cultural Revolution. I read the book. It's one of his big strengths is the fact that he's able to just write in a really clear and understandable way. He condenses down lots of big, complex information in a way that's easily readable.
Yeah, and it's just unbelievable how awful things were. Like, it's just the most evil time period I've ever heard about, ever. And I've studied the Mongols. So,
Yeah, so if you're up for some cheery viewing, go check it out on the website and maybe check out some of the other premium content that we've got if that interests you as well.
Not even joking. For a lot of it, Callum was when he read it, and he's just telling me, oh my God, it's just so...
Oh, see, when Callum and I came
awful.
out so differently on the Cultural Revolution, Callum and I came out chanting for Mao. Because everybody was fighting each other, presumably for Mao. Yeah. Even if they were fighting for Mao, well, we're fighting for Mao more.
Tragic.
It's very strange times. But no, let's get on to the news. So one of the fun things that Callum and I did cover the other day, which you may remember, although this will be going out on YouTube, so you may not have seen that segment if it didn't go out on YouTube, was that asylum seekers have just started randomly breaking into the homes of people around Dover.
I can't believe the illegal immigrants who crossed the channel on boats, totally unverified or anything like that, have begun committing crimes against the local people in the area they land.
Who'd have thought people whose entire entrance to this country is breaking the law would continue to break the law? This is something I've actually discussed with people who are like refugees welcome types, who I was friends with in the past, who would be like, oh, but they're just normal people. Don't you care about them? Aren't you concerned about their well-being? And I just say to them, right, what's the first thing they do when they get in the country? Just to get in the country. Well, they break the law. Why would I trust them not to just keep doing that?
How do you know they're normal people?
Yeah,
name one. Name the normal person.
Many assumptions are made. Well, it's because where I'm from, there's like, I don't know, 5 immigrants.
Right. So they've never met any.
And they're all integrated and they've been here for like 10 plus years, or their families from somewhere else and they're fine, So they just go like, oh, but I know the Indian bloke down the street, he's perfectly fine. It's like, yeah, that's him though.
Yeah, what's the difference between him, a guy who's been here for 30 years, and these Albanian people traffickers? I can't tell.
People are very naive with it, but this one was a particularly interesting story because the woman involved got interviewed by Nigel Farage on GB News as well, and really won Callum and I over because she seemed like a fighter. This guy just came into a kitchen, started demanding to use her phone, started demanding for her to go to Manchester or take him to London or something, and she was just like, no, get out of my kitchen, what are you doing here? And then like her daughter or someone came downstairs and just grabbed the guy, and she was saying like, oh, he was at the top of the stairs. I didn't push him down the stairs, I just gently nudged him.
I bloody would.
I just gently nudged him out of the house. And you know what? Good on you. This guy broke into your house. Some random foreigner starts yelling at you. He didn't know how to speak English other than phone and no police. I wonder why that would be a
Bro,
phrase.
the police will be on your side. Don't you worry about it. Honestly.
Well, yeah, that's the problem, is that when the police did get involved, they tried to make it seem like, oh, he was just knocking on the door. He just tried to ask them to use the phone. No.
I've got absolutely no sympathy for anyone who gets beaten up after breaking into someone's house.
I'd say that's an appropriate punishment, if you ask me. I mean, don't break into people's houses. Simple as.
Yeah.
But part of the problem that's going on here is that we are letting lots and lots and lots of people into the country, lots from undesirable backgrounds who might potentially just be coming over here to get involved in crime because they know that our criminal justice system is a joke and that they will just get away with it.
They are actually criminals already.
Yes. And for one, up to 2% of Albanian male population has travelled to the UK in small boats, according to official statistics. We're not just talking about strict numbers here. We're talking about an active percentage of a population of a country who's just decided, I like England. I've decided to become a British citizen.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the prevailing reason why they want to come over here. They just look over and they see our glorious country and they go, I want a bit of British liberties for myself.
Yeah, it's not the free money we're going to give them.
No, but Dan O'Mahony revealed the staggering figure to MPs on the Home Affairs Committee on Wednesday, stating that 12,000 Albanian nationals had crossed the Channel in small boats in this year alone. Fantastic. More than 38,000 people have arrived in the UK after crossing the Channel in more than 900 boats in 2022 to date, compared with the 28,526 last year. So that's like a 40% jump.
Are we allowed to start colonising Albania?
Well, I mean,
I bet the weather's nicer.
It probably is quite nice. We've got enough of them over here at this point. Yeah. We can say, oh, it was a democratic decision from your own people. There you go. We wanted to improve conditions and spread... Can we make an argument that there's no democracy in Albania?
Just sail across the Adriatic Sea.
John's pointing out there's plenty of available women.
All the men are here for some reason,
And there's been a delay in processing migrants when they get over here, because they get off the boat and they just immediately go, I'm claiming asylum. And then they just get sent to a hotel and they process the asylum claims. And they take so long to do them that it has knock-on effects in terms of the cost of taxpayers, with £5.6 million being spent every day to house asylum seekers in hotels. But this figure, don't worry, Carl, it gets worse.
Oh, I bet it does.
It always gets worse. Does not include the cost to house relocated Afghans in hotels as well, which cost an additional £1.2 million per day. So about 6.8 million. Let's just round that up to a nice 7 million.
I mean, at least the Afghans have got a story. Like, hey, we were collaborating with you while you guys were occupying Afghanistan. The Taliban have taken over and they're going to kill us. Help us out. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I can accept that as a fairly good moral argument as to why we should probably do something for them. What do we owe the Albanians? Apart from deportation?
Well, have you not considered the war that's going on over there at the moment? Oh,
no,
wait.
I haven't actually.
No, there isn't one. Yeah, and the figure could rise. MPs on the committee were told they heard that 93% of the 38,000 who arrived in small boats have applied for asylum, down from the total figure of 98% in 2021, but even that extra 5% or so, they're probably still just getting a hotel room paid for them, aren't they?
Well, I mean, there's still the rest of the male population of Albania to come, I suppose, isn't there?
They're just on the way. There's just been a bit of delay.
That's what I imagine, yeah.
Yeah, the currently huge delays in processing the applications. They've only processed 4% of the asylum claims. I've got an amazing idea, which is you just don't let them apply in the first place and you ship them back.
Send them back.
And scroll down just to this image here. It just says a group of people thought to be migrants on the boat. So we pick them up on the boat. The border force pick them up on the boat and just bring them into Dover. I've got a great place that you could be sending them if you're picking them up in the Channel. No, Albania, shipping them over to Albania would be far too expensive. Just send them back to France. That's where they're coming from.
Yeah, send them back to France, confiscate the boat.
Yeah.
Oh no, sell it off.
And officials have also revealed that the interception rate made by French police of migrants attempting to journey across the Channel has fallen from 50% to 42%.
Oh, what a shock.
But this is not actually because the French are doing any less by the sounds of it. It's just because the number of migrants trying to cross has increased. They're doing the same that they were last year. But
yeah, but we gave the French 50 million to stop this.
Well, I suppose someone had a good time with that 50
Yeah,
million and
probably.
probably disappeared up someone's nose, appropriately for the Albanians. What else is being done? Earlier this year, Priti Patel announced that Albanian criminals, including drug dealers and immigration offenders, were being deported from the UK, and we deported about 1,000 of them, possibly. Apparently so,
Okay.
but that's still not enough.
No,
because we've still got far too many. I think I got there was that one. And if you're interested in why it's kind of worrying that Albanians are coming over and you weren't aware of this, is because the Albanians basically control the UK drug trade.
Really?
Yeah, by the sounds of it here, in this Guardian article, which is the next one, Kings of Cocaine, How the Albanian Mafia Seized Control of the UK Drugs Trade. And I just got a little snippet from it here. Hellbanians, I'll repeat that, Hellbanians belong to
Is that the name of a mafia gang?
It is a part of a mafia gang,
Right,
yes.
okay.
And the name alone is enough to deport them,
Yeah.
if you ask me. But they belong to the retail game of the cocaine trade, and they are street dealers and enforcers of the mafia, some Albanian name, the Albanian organised criminal syndicates who, the National Crime Agency believe, are consolidating power within the UK criminal underworld and on their way to a near-total takeover of the UK's £5 billion cocaine market.
And the government's like, do you want to house these people in your house? We'll pay you. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, this was 3 years ago as well. So whatever takeover they were enacting at the time is probably completely is just complete. And they were also thinking as well that the rise in asylum seekers coming from Albania might just be because these criminal gangs are just advertising it to them.
Oh, we know they are.
Yeah. Come over to England. Speculation fell upon dominant organised criminal gangs known to have previously trafficked sex workers and gang members into the UK. This is the kind of cultural enrichment that we've been looking for, and which now control large parts of the marijuana as well as the cocaine markets. It may be down to the criminal gangs. Police say they have a stranglehold over the cocaine market in London and the southeast, and evidence of growing market offering Albanians a route across the channel to the UK can be found on TikTok.
Well, we've covered this previously, where they literally put up TikTok videos saying, yeah, £4,000 and we'll get you across the channel 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and we'll just take you in, because we're idiots, apparently. Like, these people can't legally get into this country, probably because they're known drug traffickers. And we're saying, yeah, but if they illegally come here, then they're refugees, aren't they? It's like, no. Anyway, what do I know?
Well, these people are just desperate. They need money. Just ignore it. Don't think about it. Don't recognise patterns.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and people have been pointing out for a long time just the terrible behaviour that goes on at the hotels where the migrants are housed. Like recently, residents at a Holiday Inn in Rotherham, poor guys,
Yep.
residents right next to it have been hitting out antisocial behaviour at the Holiday Inn housing 130 asylum seekers, including late-night music and raucous football tournaments.
I can't believe they're behaving badly.
I know, they've complained about the noise. They say the men housed at the hotel play really loud music all night long. The MP for Rotherham, a Labour MP, John Healey, said that the hotel is unsuited as accommodation for 130 refugees because the area is far from the town centre and lacks NHS capacity. That's right. The migrants don't get the opportunity to just wander around the town centre.
And they've got lack of access to the NHS.
I don't care.
Oh, well done, John Healey.
That's not the problem, Mr. Healey. I'm sorry. We go walking around Swindon. It's just, you see these asylum seekers wandering about doing sweet FA.
Wearing the latest fashions, though.
Ah, no, very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, they're always wearing... you can see them, like, just hang around the town square, town centre, wearing just brand new fashion clothes. It's like mad.
Glaring at locals as they walk by.
I'm paying for this.
Not intimidating at all. Mr. Healey also said that using the hotels was the result of a failing and unfair asylum system. Well, it certainly is failing, and it certainly is unfair, but not for the people I expect Mr. Healey is referring to. No. Joe Thieker, who lives nearby, called for a curfew as his children can't sleep. We can't get the kids to sleep. It's been going on 12 months. The problems are just getting worse and worse. The noise goes from 9 p.m. to the early hours. Most of the houses on the street have young families, so we're all in the same boat. It needs some kind of curfew. People have complained to the hotel. Nothing's been done.
I'm laughing because all I was thinking, Mr. Thieker was saying, look, these migrants can't get to the NHS. They've got no access to the town centre. Something needs to be done.
And they're wearing last season's Nikes. It's horrendous.
Do you not feel represented by Labour yet, Mr. Thieker? Just asking, your values, your interests,
Let's
completely aligned with the Labour politician who represents you.
Let's be honest, he lives in Rotherham. He probably did vote for it.
Yeah, he probably did.
You know, so you get what you deserve, sadly. They're all young blokes in their early to mid-20s, and sometimes they're 20 to 30 around the car park.
Adventurers.
No young women, no young children.
Refugees.
What a big shock. And what has the government solution been to this? Well, as I alluded to at the beginning, it is, why don't you take in the migrants yourself? We'll give you money for it. Please, we desperately need you to do this. As homeowners are being offered contracts to take in illegal channel migrants, as government hotel bill rises to £2.4 billion a year.
I can't even imagine what kind of idiot they think the average member of the public is. Do you want to take this criminal 25-year-old into your home?
I just don't understand if the whole point is, okay, we also want to, try and dissuade people from crossing the channel.
Yeah.
Well, now instead of a nice, comfy hotel room, you get to live with lovely Ethel, and she gets to make tea for you every morning.
But what if you're 35, your wife's the same sort of age, and you've got a bunch of young kids? I don't want some 25-year-old Albanian man living with them.
Well,
I
also don't want some Albanian guy teaching my kids how to be drug runners.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because it seems that might be the most likely thing that they'd be doing. So all
manner of dangers to young people. Well, why would you...
Yeah, it's a private contractor, Serco, offering deals for up to 5 years with rent guaranteed in full every month and maintenance costs covered. So... in a cost of living crisis, this could look quite attractive to a lot of people.
All I'm saying is it's 10 grand a month rent.
Yeah. But, as well at the same time, whether or not that's quite attractive, you still have to have some random foreigner in your spare room. I don't know if it's worth it. It will also pay the tenants' council tax plus gas and electricity bills. So you're just bribing people.
With whose money?
Well, that's the thing. Serco were awarded a record £1.9 billion 10-year contract from the Home Office in 2019. Which I'm sure is money that we can afford to be spending.
No. Okay. Look, I've got an offer for the Home Office, right? Give me a $1 billion 10-year contract, and I will make sure every single one of these people is removed from this country.
Tempting offer.
I can make this happen.
I have met someone from the Home Office before, and he looked suspiciously like Hitler, so he might be open to the idea.
What?
He had a toothbrush tash, and I thought, oh my God, that's not in style anymore. It's not been style for a while.
It's a weird thing for him to have.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe he was
just a really big Charlie Chaplin fan,
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Look at my collection of hats. But yeah, and I saw Nigel Farage was talking about this on GB News last night as well, and he had that, I was talking to Connor about it, he had that Reem Ibrahim woman, the one who was going on Twitter saying about how Liz Truss is the best Prime Minister I've had already because she wants to open up migration so we can boost the economy. And she was talking to Nigel. Nigel gave her the whole shebang. Oh, this is terrible. They're coming in, stealing jobs from our people. And she goes, oh my God, Nigel, you're so right. It's a complete waste of taxpayers' money. It's ruining the hotels. It's ruining the airports they stay at. What we need to do is give them all jobs while they're looking for asylum. No! Are you high, Reem? I know you consider yourself a libertarian, but
there we go. There's the problem.
You don't have to go on air stoned out your brain to say something like that. I mean, good God.
The problem is libertarianism. Sorry, libertarians, it's just true.
It is, as I've mentioned before, I've already got 50 pages of notes on it at this point. But that's that. So you too could house an immigrant today if you're feeling up for it, but please don't.
Yeah.
Just please don't.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium articles we do, this one on the re-emergence of the totalitarian leftists, and an audio track for silver and gold tier members, of course. If you'd like to check out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.